So what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate the portable intelligence application. First we're going to show the iPad app, and then we will go into the PI platform, which is built on Force.com. So for the iPad app, this is essentially an application that is used in the field by sales reps. It's a recommendation platform, and the premise is that on the back end, what a company has done is they've used the PI approach to build their own secret sauce, their own customized sales process. And now what happens on the front end is the application recommends to sales reps milestones, sales tools, and typical things that they would do to advance a deal. Now, the initial view of the PI app, as you can see, is essentially a dashboard view, so the rep sees their typical day and things that they're measured on. From there, though, we're going to assume that the sales rep is going into a sales call, and in this particular instance, using a customized sales process built around the buyer's buying process, the rep is prompted to essentially get the buyer to explain to them in a particular opportunity where they're at in their buying process and what the different milestones are to advance that deal. So, for example, we would know the company that they're meeting with, the contact at that company, and what they're going to do is identify the name of the opportunity. So now this is recorded on the iPad and on the Force.com platform, essentially as a new opportunity. And the buyer will basically identify for the customer under this particular sales methodology where they're at in the buying process. In this case, the buyer says, you know what, we're really at the investigation stage. We're looking at how this problem affects our company. In this case, the sales rep is prompted and has the option to, of course, then to gather requirements from the customer and needs and challenges. So what we want to understand is, what's this particular buyer's role in the buying process? What are his goals organizationally? What are the challenges that he faces in his job? And what's his criteria for success in this opportunity? Now from there, on the left-hand side, what would normally happen is there would be prompts or recommendations made to the rep as to presentations. In this particular instance, though, we're going to go right to a product recommendation, and this goes into the product intelligence piece where, based upon criteria that the rep has collected, it's making a product recommendation. Now, we can also see from that particular product documents related to it, the competitive positioning of the product, the ideal use, and then Q&A, which is essentially the rep has the ability to search in real search terms questions or problems that he has, and he can see answers basically from peers or from subject matter experts internally at the company, or he can do a very simple search on the product as well. So for example, he may want to look at all the products that start with the letter B, and it'll give options that he can choose from. Every time a product is selected or recommended, this is an important milestone that's recorded in the platform. Now the iPad app will also connect to standard CRM data in Salesforce.com. We also have the ability to code the point of sale, which would plug into an ERP system or a finance package, and we can from there actually create quotes, email quotes to the customer, convert quotes to invoices, or even collect payment. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the portable intelligence platform that is built on Force.com. And there's really two views to this. We're going to take a look at the sales rep view, but there's also a sales administrator view. And an administrator can be a sales executive like a vice president of sales or a director of sales, or it can also be a subject matter expert like a marketing person. But in this particular instance, what we're going to look at is very quickly sales intelligence. And essentially what's going on here is this is recording opportunities that are captured in the field on the iPad. And what you can see for this particular sales rep is you can drill down on a particular opportunity. You can see who the client is for that opportunity, the contacts that are involved in the opportunity, and the stage of the opportunity. And when you drill down on it, you can see basically what we're capturing in this zoomed in view is basically who all the stakeholders in the opportunity are, their role in this particular opportunity, their goals and criteria for success, just like we saw it captured on the iPad. And then what we're seeing is that basically all the milestones that are achieved were recorded on the iPad. So milestones are any significant event. It can be a product recommendation, it can be a solutions or a capabilities presentation, a video that's given, a brochure that's sent from the iPad. Anytime that the stage of an opportunity is advanced. All these things are captured and recorded as a milestone. Now if we go back up to product intelligence, essentially in this view, similar to the iPad, we can see all the products that are available. Now if this were the sales administrator view, what can happen is the sales administrator might be, as we said, a marketing person, and they're able to drill down on a product but actually also edit it. Now when you're editing a product, really what you're doing is we're taking raw product data, manufacturer and model, and we're putting metadata around it. We're also putting multimedia data, so that can be pictures, that can be videos, that can be brochures or other related documents such as manuals. It can also be then the competitive statement. It can also be the ideal use scenario, the applications of the particular product, and it will also allow you to record basically any questions and answers specifically related to that product. Now if we go back out, we can see the questions and answers platform. This is where we have a knowledge base of typical questions that are asked in the field and are answered by peers or subject matter experts. So again, on the iPad we're able to search this data, and basically what we see is we see questions that are in real search terms and are answered by peers or other subject matter experts that are relevant to the particular subject. Now we have a shared knowledge base that is now across the entire company. So a newer rep with less tenure has the ability to at least find answers in front of the customer. So now what all this allows us to do, particularly in the product and the sales intelligence, is we're collecting data from the field, and they can use the analytics to understand what does that mean to the business and what sort of adjustments do we need to make. So part of the process of moving from an alpha to a beta to a commercial application, we're going to be using the cascading style sheets to skin our app on Force.com. We're coding a sales intelligence wizard, and this is where you build your secret sauce. So we take the PI approach, which is to go through the standard 5 steps of the buying process and create a sales process against that, where based upon your business and your industry and your typical customer scenarios, at each stage what we're identifying as typical milestones, we're identifying sales tubes that are out to the reps, and once we customize that, that becomes the baseline that's pushed out to all the iPad users in the field, and from there we're building and growing that knowledge around that customized secret sauce.